Hello, so this will be a tutorial for workshop number 2, which you will submit in the form of that journal entry, which you can find on D2L. So this week we're basically going to be carrying out a simple study or an experiment, you may say, in which we'll be gauging differences or changes in soil moisture. Now if you look at the addendum in the syllabus, it indicated that you guys needed to grab a soil moisture of some sort, and I know this sounds like it's some technical instrument, but you can find this at a garden shop or at Lowe's, Home Depot, anywhere really in which they work with landscaping. You'd be able to find one of these. And this is due on Friday, November 1st at 11:59 p.m. via Dropbox. So the purpose of this experiment is to carry out a small field study regarding the changes in soil moisture. You can see this as carrying out a mini study that can be projected or included into your overall final study that you submit. The things that you'll need is that soil meter, which I just talked about, and again they can be roughly $15 to $20 each. And then if you have access to this, a measuring tape. And you can grab a measuring tape, even a 10-meter measuring tape will work in this case, but also if you have a meter stick or a ruler and you're able to set your paces. So in the field, when I do my research, I know one of my steps roughly is 1 meter. So this saves a lot of time, but also if in case you lose equipment, misplace it, something like that, which happens a lot, you can keep going. So be able to quantify each one of your steps or bring out a 10-meter measuring tape, whatever works for you. And then you will be submitting a table and a graph. And the best way to put this together is through Microsoft Excel. So you want to be able to find a computer with Microsoft Office, which contains Microsoft Excel in there. Or if you're pro in some other graphing program and you provide me with a graph that makes sense, is sound, and displays your data appropriately, then I won't be able to get mad. But for those of you that have never made a graph before or have a little experience, Microsoft Excel is one of the best ways to go. And this is a rough idea of what your assignment is. Again, the assignment's posted on D2L and it's a worksheet format. You would just write stuff in via the computer as well as paste figures in there. So for an example, and this relates to your site, again, and it also relates to soil moisture, is you want to create a question. Here I provided an example, which is also on your worksheet, and it's a simple question of, does soil moisture change as you move further from a body of water? So does that body of water kind of infiltrate water into the soil, and does it change the composition of that soil within a few meters of that body of water? The hypothesis is that soil moisture decreases as you move away from a body of water due to decreased water infiltration from the body of water. And again, a hypothesis, and I'm just looking at your hypothesis statements this week, but a hypothesis is a statement where it's basically a cause and effect. And I believe this is a pretty well worded out hypothesis. And then when you carry out your field data, where you simply collect this, the soil moisture of certain areas, you would generate a graph. Here I simply started at the body of water, which was the dry soil right adjacent to the body of water at 0 meters, and took moisture readings in 1 meter intervals away from that. And here you have the soil moisture percentage that occurs. Now don't compare your data that you find to this at all, because this is data I just made up. But this is pretty much what you will see. And then you will generate a graph via Excel, and they're simple, they look nice, and if you are unfamiliar with this process, these 2 YouTube videos have everything that you possibly need to generate a simple graph. And the one word of advice I have for you is to pick a scatter plot. A scatter plot would be able to generate these points here as well as contain a line in there. So although this graph may seem simple, and you would have said, of course, the soil moisture percentage decreases as you walk away from a body of water, there is interesting data present here. One of that being that within 2 to 3 meters, once you get like 2.5 meters away, the moisture percentage in the soil drops significantly. So it's a sharp curve there, and then it evens out. And you could probably walk another 10, 20, maybe even 100 meters, and this soil moisture would be the same. So you can see 3 meters as being a threshold for moisture conditions, which would affect the presence of plants as well as the diversity within those sites. So this soil moisture experiment you're carrying out can tell you a pretty good amount of cool information about your site and help you hone in on specific areas in which you want to carry out your data collection. And yeah, I hope this kind of helped clarify some of the questions with this assignment. I'm sure not all of them are answered, but I'm available via email on D2L. And take a look at that worksheet for the workshop number 2, and that should be able to clarify a lot of details as well. So thank you very much.